The displacement of a particle varies with time as t as x is equal to a e raised to minus alpha t plus b e raised to b e raised to beta t, where a, b, alpha and beta are constants. The velocity of the particle will be independent of alpha and beta, go on increasing with time, drop to 0 when alpha is equal to beta, go on decreasing with time. Okay. So let us first write the given equation, which is given as x is equal to a into e raised to minus alpha t plus b into e raised to beta t. Let me first differentiate both sides with respect to x. So with respect to t, so what we get is d by dt of x is equal to a into d by dt of e raised to minus alpha t plus b into d by dt of e raised to beta t. Now let me also write down the derivative of e raised to x. So see, d by dx of e raised to x is equal to e raised to x. It's very simple. Now, what is d by dx of e raised to 2x? It is equal to e raised to 2x into d by dx of 2x, which is e raised to 2x into 2, or 2 e raised to 2x. Similarly, what is d by dx of e raised to 3x? It is equal to e raised to 3x into d by dx of 3x, which is equal to 3 e raised to 3x. One more, d by dx of e raised to minus 1x is equal to e raised to minus 1x into d by dx of minus 1x, which is equal to minus 1 into e raised to minus 1x, right? So these four examples are enough to solve this question. So the answer goes like this: dx by dt, which is equal to v, is equal to a into, use this logic here, what is d by dt of e raised to minus alpha t? Minus alpha into e raised to minus alpha t, right? Minus 1x minus alpha. My d by dx of, okay, I think I should write that in detail. Okay, so d by dx by dt, that is v, is equal to a into, what is d by dt of e raised to minus alpha t? It is e raised to minus alpha t into d by dt of minus alpha t plus b into, what is d by dt of e raised to bt? It is e raised to bt into d by dt of bt. Now v is further equal to a into e raised to minus alpha t. What is d by dt of minus alpha t? It is minus alpha into d by dt of t plus b into e raised to beta t into, what is d by dt of beta t? Is b into d by dt of t, right? So this becomes v is equal to minus alpha into a e raised to minus alpha t plus d by dt of t is 1 plus beta into e raised to beta t. All right. So what I'll do is I'll write the positive fraction first. So positive term first. So beta v is equal to beta into e raised to beta t minus alpha into, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped b here, right? B here. Okay. So minus alpha into, so this is b into beta into e raised to beta t. Okay. Minus alpha into a into e raised to minus alpha t. All right. So in order to find out the correct option, I will write down this relation once again, or maybe I'll write it 2 times. So we have v is equal to b into beta into e raised to beta t minus a into alpha into e raised to minus alpha t. Okay, so I'll write this one more time. Okay, now let us try to understand the options. See, we know that as x is positive, e raised to x is also positive, right? Or we can say this other ways. If x is increasing, right, for the value of x is increasing, e raised to x also increases. And as x is increasing, what happens to e raised to minus x? E raised to minus x now decreases. Okay, so it's very simple logic. So as the value of x increases, we can say that e raised to x increases, and at the same time e raised to minus x will decrease. Okay. Okay, now let us apply this concept here. So here instead of s we have, so we can say that as t increases, e raised to beta t will increase and e raised to minus alpha t will decrease, right? So let me highlight this. So as t increases, e raised to beta t increases, whereas e raised to minus alpha t will decrease. Let us now further try to understand this, which means, say when we, okay, when t is equal to 1, v will be equal to b into beta into e raised to beta minus a into alpha into e raised to minus alpha, because t is 1, right? T is 1. Similarly, when t is equal to say 10, this will be equal to b into beta into e raised to 10 beta minus a into alpha into e raised to minus 10 alpha. Let us take one more example. Say v t is equal to 100 is equal to b into beta into e raised to 100 beta minus a into alpha into e raised to minus 100 alpha. Now, see, let us now try to understand what is the physical meaning of this. This means that v at t is equal to 1 is basically equal to b into e raised to beta. E raised to beta is a larger quantity, so this is a large number, minus e raised to minus alpha t, because the value decreases, minus a small number, right? Which, say for example, I would take 10 minus 1 is equal to 9 is basically a large number, right? I can further give an example for the second case. When vt is equal to 10, e raised to 10 beta is basically a very large number, right? Exponential power to the 10 minus e raised to minus 10 alpha. We know that e raised to minus 10 alpha, the value decreases. So this will be a very small number. And when this is a very small number, a very large number minus a very small number, say 1000 minus 0.1 will again be a very small number. So this will give you a very small number. Let us go one step further. When t is equal to 100 means we get e raised to 100 times beta, which means exponential power to the 100. This will be a, say for example, a very large number minus a very small number, which, say for example, would give you minus 0.0000000001, which is again a very large number. So this here will be equal to a very large number. Now look at the progression. So as t increases, velocity was large, it was I'm sorry, did I write small here? So sorry, this is large. So it will be very large, and then it become very large, which means as t increases, velocity increases. Okay. So that marks the conclusion. So which means the velocity of particle will keep on increasing with time.